has rolled up to In the Mind of JT, where the whiskey's strong, the opinions are stronger, and there's no filter in sight. We're talking no holds barred, people. I am JT, Marine, biker, musician, and unapologetic patriot. I love my country and all things fast, loud, and wild. And if you came here looking for a smooth ride, well, you're in the wrong motherfucking place. Buckle up. Let's get it done. It's time to dive into the chaos that's inside my mind. So, I'm just going to get right into it, okay? I've always believed that certain people come into our lives for a reason and at the right time, right? Sometimes you recognize it immediately. Other times, you don't really realize it until you look back and connect the dots. So tonight's guest is actually kind of one of those scenarios that recently happened to me. You know, Amanda and I, we met this guy by chance a few months ago, and, you know, at least it seemed kind of like just a random thing at the time. You know, looking at everything that's happened since then, I'm not sure anymore. It's such a random, odd thing that how we cross paths, right? And so that's why I always say things happen for reasons. So sometimes you meet somebody and months later you look back and think, maybe this wasn't just a random chance encounter, right? And that brings me to the guy sitting across from me tonight. So my buddy Robert Wolf, he wears a lot of hats. Okay, he's a husband, he's a father, he's an entrepreneur, he's a health and fitness coach. Which, by the way, I'm on a journey with him, and we'll kind of dive into that a little bit later. And apparently, he's an appreciator of good whiskey, right? So, that automatically him and I are going to connect on that level. But he's become a lot more than these things for Amanda and I. He's actually our wedding photographer. We recently hired him to come on board and shoot our special day for us. And then that's going to be a real meaningful thing. And he's helped us out tremendously on our health journey. And we're going to dive into that some more here in a few minutes. He's become our accountability coach. And most importantly, out of all these things, he's actually become our friend. And that's what's most important to us. So I'm just going to bring him in. Robert Wolf, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, man. How you doing? I'm humbled to be here, first off and foremost. I never see myself as something other than just a guy who does whatever he needs to do for, his family. So anytime I get an opportunity or somebody shares an outside view of it, I'm always humbled and appreciative of the opportunity to come out here and be something positive for anybody else. So.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, I learned right away that you're a hustler, and so that's just kind of another thing that we connected on. So yeah, no, I'm humbled that we crossed paths, dude. I legit am a firm believer in things happening for fucking reasons, right? And you know our story. You've already
when they're good.
Yeah, totally.
I question it every time something fucked up happens.
Yeah,
but every time something good happens, there's more to it than, meets the eye. So it's cool coming from the other way. I never get to see it from the outside.
True. Well, I think that's the cool thing about two people becoming friends and actually like appreciating each other. Cause I think so many times, friends, they use that term loosely, you're friends, but you guys never call each other, you never hang out, but you guys are friends. It's like, I think, a lot of people have lost the meaning of what friendship is supposed to be. And you and I seem to have a connected on a lot of different levels, which is nice. So, no, I'm glad you're here, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think we're in a time where people are afraid to acknowledge that their time is valuable. And I've always stood on that because anytime I step out of my house, I'm leaving my kids and my wife, and that's the most valuable thing I have. So if I step out to go share that time with somebody other than them, it's it's got to mean something. And I don't do that for just a regular old person or somebody who
Yeah.
doesn't respect it. And some people are afraid to say that, hey, I hold myself to this standard and I value myself this much. So everybody will kind of pick up the phone when that long lost friend calls and they're calling because they need something. I got family I don't answer the phone for,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean? So I'm valuable because of the things I choose to do and what I leave behind to go do them. And if it doesn't fit within that realm, I just don't do it anymore.
Man, I'm totally feeling you on that. I recently had an episode where I said our number one thing in life is time. Like, you can't get fucking time back, bro. Right now, your wife and Atlas are at home fucking waiting for dad to come home because you're here with my dumb ass. Right? So, but that's what I'm saying.
Three kids.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's a little bit different, but like, you know, I got my daughter, Nikaylee, she's 14 and
Yeah.
Ethan is 17. So all the different stages, they get to see the value of what it is.
Oh, totally.
And Atlas being the youngest just knows he wants me there. And, you know, the other kids get to see the hustle you mentioned.
Mhm.
And I could be at home sitting on the couch or not doing anything. But ultimately, if we're in a world where actions don't speak louder than words sometimes, I'm trying to keep it old school like that and make
Yeah.
sure that the actions are louder so that when my kids look back, I didn't step out to go party. I didn't step out to go.
Mhm.
It was everything ties back into them. And when they look back, they'll see that I stepped out with purpose every time across the board. So,
Yeah, it makes a difference. You know, I don't have kids myself, but you know, when kids become a factor into a family man's life, like things just fucking like are way different. They change you. I'm assuming, right?
man, I've been fortunate. You know, I came from nothing. And, you know, you say hustle. I was hustling at a young age on multiple levels
Yeah.
until, you know, and I was fortunate to do a lot of things on my own and see a lot of different parts of the world and do things once I was established.
Yeah.
But nothing has felt better than seeing my kids experience those things. Even if I've done it 100 times and my kids light up the first time,
Yeah.
that one was better than all the 100 I got to do it. So
That's awesome, man.
it's a different vibe for sure.
Which, by the way, I didn't tell y'all, but you know, Robert lives out way in Ventura County. It took him almost 4 hours to get here today. So that shows some freaking dedication. Not only did he drive almost 4 hours, but he brought some fucking whiskey, which we just tapped into tonight. Cheers to you, brother. Thank you so much for bringing some Jameson over.
Cheers,
I appreciate it. And you know, this is the first time I've had whiskey since we got on the peptides, and we're gonna get into that here shortly. So this tasty beverage here is a treat for me tonight, right? But you know, how about I do this before we get into it, right? Before we get into anything else, I gotta tell y'all how the hell we met, because I find it very interesting, and it goes back to the introduction when I said people come into your life at the right time, just you know when it's just supposed to happen. So you know, recently I was in an MC, and I recently left the club. I walked away from that life because it wasn't me anymore. In doing that, it meant I dropped my colors and I closed that chapter of my life. It's just time to move on. But I ran into a dilemma. I needed a new vest, right? Like I needed a new vest, and I don't like to ride with just like a shirt and a Dixon on or a sweater because at least if you have a leather vest on, it does help with cutting the wind and keeps you a little warm. So yeah, I need a new vest. So what do Amanda and I do? And we end up going to Espinosa's Leather down in Rosemead. Uh, Coincidentally, Amanda needed a new vest too, so it just kind of made sense. We go down there, and I'm on a mission, yo. I'm looking for the right freaking one, but I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do some kind of custom made one, different colors. Um, Anyways, while I do that, I noticed a gentleman. I noticed Robert was in there and he was taking photos, and I caught him taking a photo of us, just kind of like a candid shot, and I didn't really care. I wasn't paying attention. I was just so focused on finding this fucking vest I wanted, and I noticed Amanda had started talking to him. So yeah, I'm just like looking around, and I wasn't looking anything in particular, but I needed a vest, and that was my mission. And then Robert happens to be there, and I saw that he's starting to talk to my woman, and they're talking about photography. And coincidentally, we needed a wedding photographer because we had booked one and we put a deposit down, but it just kind of wasn't feeling him. And so they started talking about photography, and Amanda starts immediately asking him questions and tells him about our date and all this other stuff. And then I come to find out that Robert was there getting his vest sized up because he had just bought one too. So we started talking about the wedding. We started talking about other things. And again, I'm not really paying attention at this point, right? And then I noticed the conversation kind of eventually led into health and wellness. And I got to tell you, I weighed almost 270 pounds going into Espinosa's that day, and I at this point, like Amanda and I had been talking about, we wanted to lose some freaking weight for our wedding, man. So like we go in there, they start talking about peptides and all this other stuff, and I'm kind of skeptical. But now at this point, 40 minutes later, we've talked about photography, wedding, peptides, health, weight loss, life, and then next thing you know, they're exchanging phone numbers. So we connect on social media. I order my vest. Amanda and I leave. And then I want to get Robert's version at this point because I don't know if you know this, but on the way home, like all we did was talk about you because she was talking about peptides, and she was kind of dabbling in that initially. Like she started talking about it and doing it, and I was real skeptical, and I heard you had to give your own shots and all this other stuff. So I was real kind of skeptical on the whole scenario, but after meeting you, she really fucking got me hooked on it. And so that's where you come in, bro. So what was your initial impression when like you had met us? Cause you didn't know us from jack shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm blessed to be able to work in a lot of different realms. So I was there. I always try to maximize everything. Like I said, why am I leaving my house? Yeah, I had to get a vest, but also, uh, Eric Espinosa's like family. So anytime I'm in the shop, it's an opportunity to help them grow. So I'm taking pictures, and I took a picture of Amanda and I asked if I could share it, for the company. I said, hey,
Yeah.
you have a good look. You're wearing the vest. You can follow my social media and I'll give you the pictures. No problem. I told her my name and she had already been following me. So she knew who I was from being out of state. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm humbled. And in between there, I go to try my vest on. My vest doesn't fit. So that's how we got started about health
That's
and
right.
wellness, because I lost so much weight that Eric
That's right.
had to resize me, didn't let me leave with my vest that I waited for. And
And it's a lengthy wait too, man. I was fucking chomping at the bit. It was like 3 months to get my shit back, and I just recently got it.
but you had to get it resized.
I
So it
did.
was done. Just like me. I went in excited to get mine, waiting. I don't get any special privileges waiting for my vest. And it didn't fit. So
Yeah.
that's how Amanda's like, well, why, pretty significant. Think it was 3 inches on my waist and 7 around my chest and back. So pretty significant. And that's how that rolled into
Yeah.
peptides, because I don't market, I don't sell anything to anybody. So it was more so because we were there in that space, I genuinely offered, hey, if you researched your own stuff and you have questions, I'm happy to help if I can, because I don't know everything, but uh, genuine people, I'm definitely willing to help. So that's kind of how that came about. And then
Yeah.
it just rolled into, she looked at my page and said, hey, too bad we have a deposit in with the
We
photographer because
did,
your
dude.
style is cool. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm not one to try to sell
Yeah.
that either because I don't market my photography. If you've seen, I don't
Yeah.
rarely post. But then she's asked for the engagement photos. So I said, yeah, I can probably swing that. So we figured out a date. And
Yeah.
that's when she asked about peptides and everything else and the wedding. So,
Well, mind you, we had already put a deposit down. I think we put like $1,100 deposit down with this photographer already. But after leaving Espinosa's and we were looking at his page and all the pictures, we started talking to him. We were like, fuck it, dude. Like, going with him. And then you gave us a price breakdown of what you would charge us for the whole thing. And it was like what we were going to pay this guy, even losing the like $1,100 was still going to save us money going with you. And you were a photographer who's used to shooting bikers and just candid stuff and oddball stuff, and that's what we were looking for. I wasn't too confident that the other guy was going to be able to do that, dude.
yeah,
So
I'm grateful, like that's just kind of from all my experience. Everything worth framing on your wall is something that was captured that takes you back to that feeling. And
yeah,
standing side by side on your wedding day won't do that for you. So that's kind of how I operate. And that's kind of one of the rules is people aren't really allowed to pose
yeah.
for the majority of their things. So
That was a rule that Robert said. He's like, listen, I'm gonna shoot your guys' wedding. I'm gonna kick ass, but you can't tell me how I'm gonna do this. I don't want you guys posing. I'm gonna just tell you what we're doing. And we're like, all right, let's go. We're fucking down, dude. We'd already seen your shit, so
yeah,
it
so
kind of made sense.
it just rolled into one thing after another. So
Now, were you always into photography? Like, where's your background? Like, how were you as a kid? Were you always into the shit, or did you just kind of like evolve into that stuff?
nah, I mean, as a kid, I was just hustling everything and anything under the sun to kind of make sure I could have food and things like that. Photography came into play when I had a fitness clothing brand that I started, and I didn't have any money to do much, so I had to hire a photographer.
Mm,
And I remember to this day that the photographer came in and I had to pay a model, had to waste my clothing. So I'm in the hole all this money. And the photographer only gave me a couple photos and I hated them. And I had to pay. So I'm in the hole, whatever, however many hundred it was on this product. And
yeah.
I was literally struggling to get started. So after that, I kind of bought a camera for $500 and it was strictly to market my own stuff. So I had to learn how to do it. And that's kind of where the rule came in that you can't pose because I'm into fitness. And the biggest guys in the gym and the biggest guys you see with these brands, they would lift little weights to look really good and keep their muscles, like their face muscles intact so they can look good for a photo.
Mm,
And I'm like, this guy can bench 400 pounds, but he's curling a 15-pound dumbbell for the picture. And I said, I'm never going to do that with my brand. So my
that's
brand
good.
became, we're going to go work out and someone's going to take the pictures while we're working out. And that's the shoot. We're actually lifting, we're actually sweating. And that kind of evolved into its own thing and that became a signature.
You know what? I think you get more authenticity out of that too, because you're not like sitting there posing. You're actually physically in the moment, and you're not paying attention to the camera, right? You're in the moment, and that's what I like about doing like candid shit, because you know you're there, but you're not paying attention, like and so you're not making some gay pose or stupid face or anything like that. And that's what I like about your style.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important if you're paying somebody to capture or be at this special time, not even if it's special time, just a photo in general. I want you to be able to look back because time doesn't stop.
Yeah,
We get
true.
older, things fade, people you take a picture with might not be here tomorrow. When you look back, I want you to be able to feel what it was like when you were there.
Yeah,
And if I only capture you side by side and you guys are like, hey, hug, look at me, say cheese,
yeah,
it's not going to evoke anything that is worth remembering that day. You remember the face. I
true.
want I want the feeling. So
Exactly.
sometimes it's a deeper meaning. Sometimes those people genuinely aren't with you anymore, and that's the last photo. I got a lot of photos that it's the last photo people have, and to be able to bring back that feeling for that one point in time, whenever you look at it, is kind of why I do what I do and how I do it.
Yeah,
And again, my kids. When I look at my
yeah.
kids and they pose and like, man, they're the some of the best pictures I have are of my kids. But uh,
So I gotta ask you this because this is gonna be, I always ask this of everybody who's married, right? Obviously, I'm getting married. I have to ask you this. What are your keys to a successful marriage, bro?
man, I don't know. It's everything's a work in progress, man. Like
Yeah,
I'm, I'm, I've always said I was as fucked up as they come, you know, like,
yeah.
uh, my wife makes it effortless now. Like she knew who I was. We've known each other 20 years.
That's a
So
long time. Well, there's a story there. You got to tell me the story, dude.
yeah, man. So we went to high school together and, she said I was a popular guy, but I always noticed her, always knew who she was. And I used to, I was like I had this weird connection where I went to two different high schools at the same time that were
Really?
down the street from each other. Cause I was kind of like, I was a jock, but I also went to this technology high school, which my son goes to now. I was the first one. I was going there for the morning because they had this computer networking class and
Sweet.
I wanted to learn. Well, my wife used to be an intern and do like at a nursing home that was down the street from the school. So her morning she was at doing intern stuff,
Mm,
and when I would leave the other school to go to my school, she would be walking, and I used to drive. I've always hustled, so I always had a car, and I used to pick her up when I'd see her walking to school, and we still talk about it. Like, man, I used to pick you up and drive you to school, and we would go our ways, and we wouldn't really hang out.
did you have a crush on her then, or what?
Maybe.
You
But
did.
she was like, I was always like, you know, she's very intelligent.
Yeah.
We kind of, I was a jock, went to school, kept the grades enough to play sports and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we kind of, right after high school, I enlisted, didn't tell anybody. And I just disappeared for a while and came back here and we reconnected. And the rest is a wrap, man. It's just kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty awesome, man. And from what I have seen, just in getting to know you, you guys have a pretty awesome marriage, like a good chemistry and connection. And I love seeing that in people.
It's it's all her, honestly. Like not it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, is like my wife knows like uh she's a significant part of who I am, but I've always made it a point to let her know like I didn't show up to complete her or, you know, whatever she had going on and whatever I had going on. At that
Yeah.
point, I wasn't a homeowner. I didn't the best that I could do, I had already did it. And that's kind of where I was. I thought I was like, that's the best version of me, you
Yeah.
know? And then we got married. I had to get married to buy my first home, you
Did you?
know? And we bought two in 6 months, you know, like
You did tell me that story, dude. That's pretty
and
awesome.
But in between there, I had to learn all these lessons. So if you go back, we probably don't have enough time for a podcast, but I was homeless before. So
Yeah.
um, if she would have married me back then, maybe I would have started on a successful journey sooner, or I might not have been the right time, which is kind of one of the things we talked about, perfect timing.
Yeah.
I might not have been the best version of what she deserved back then, because from when I look at her, she's been on an upward trajectory, for a long time. And I thought I had it made. I was good. Traveled the world and got to do things,
Yeah.
but there was nothing significant about my life other than like I worked hard.
Now, by the way, you're in the military currently still, right?
Still current.
Yeah.
I'm
So Air
a
Force, right?
active duty master sergeant
Yeah.
going on. I had a break. I had a break in service, and that's kind of, I got out, left, came back to California, and that's kind of where I ended up homeless for a little stint. And
Yeah.
I got back in, had to tuck my tail because they had a bonus for reenlistment, and I was qualified. So literally was sleeping in my car, had to reenlist
Yeah.
and get that money for an apartment.
Yeah, you told me that story in Vegas, and I was kind of blown away because I've had this conversation on my podcast before. I was homeless for a short time, and that's why I say, bro, like we have so many similarities, just in the past and things going on currently, and we have a lot of the same belief systems and mentality. So it was like an instant connection when you and I started talking. So it's just another kind of connect the dots kind of thing. And not to get sidetracked on that, but I recently, like you said, I recently walked away from that little scenario that I was in, and in doing that, I walked away from like a lot of dudes, a lot of bros that I'm associated with. But like to me, walking away was like starting new, and now it's like it's a new chapter for us. We're getting married, and then we're totally meeting all these new kick-ass people, and and starting a new kind of circle, if you will. And that's what I'm saying. It's so similar to some of the shit you've been through, man. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets hung up on it. What do they always say? Don't burn your bridges.
Yes.
And I believe sometimes you got to burn those motherfuckers down, and
Totally,
not
bro.
for any other
Totally, dude.
reason other than like it gives you no choice and to not go back, because
Yeah.
sometimes people get emotional, and when you're emotional and you feel some type of way, you might want to go back across that bridge, and it
Yeah.
won't be for your benefit or anything else. It's just strictly for that need to have somebody, whether it's like the bro that did you wrong or whatever it
Yeah.
is. When you burn it down and you don't have that there, you can only go forward, and you can only build a new bridge that'll lead to other opportunities. So I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in, sometimes it hurts and sometimes you do that, but walking away from people is like that's a Saturday for me.
Dude, it opens up new things. Dude, it's like that dude who's constantly getting back together with his ex-girlfriend like 5-6 times because he's lonely and he doesn't have any friends or doesn't know what to do. It's like, dude, no, I'm like, dude, once I'm done, I'm done. You fucking time to move on, clean house, and start anew. And when you do that, there's a feeling of fucking liberation almost, dude. Like you just like
the independence of it.
Yeah, dude. You like look back and be like, bro, I can't fucking believe I was like doing this for so long for fucking nothing. And like it's So yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from on that factor, bro. For sure. So I got to ask you, also you're a biker. So how long have you been into that? That's just another common denominator with us. So
yeah, I started on crotch rockets.
you didn't know that.
I always had bikes, and then yeah, it was just I always liked the Harleys, but they're so much more money. And
That's true, man. No doubt about that.
and I had a dirt bike and everything else. It just kind of went. Like I like to go fast. Had fast cars, and
Yeah.
the crotch rockets were reachable at that time, and it just became a thing. And then the first Harley I got was a road glide, and yeah, it was a wrap after that. Got it, sold. I sold my Harley, my fast cars, everything when a house became within reach. Without hesitation, I sold everything, and just recently got another bike. So I bought another road glide in February this year.
I haven't had a chance to ride with you yet either, dude. I'm like waiting for that day when we can do
I
that.
don't ride with a lot of people. Not like I got my nephew and like brother-in-law, they ride all the time. And I've ridden with them like 3 times. But it's that pack thing. I don't know. I've always felt like when you move in a big circle like that, you're just a bigger target for whatever reason. And it's just kind of my thing. I just I I ride solo a lot, but if the opportunity's there,
Yeah.
definitely up for it. Just not in a pack.
No, I get it, dude. You know what? I will say there's something about riding in a pack that is just like it's it's pretty exciting. You know, when you got like fucking 30, 40 dudes in a pack side by side riding bars, it's pretty fucking exciting. But, there are a lot of opportunities to get in accidents. And, dude, I saw many, being in a club. I saw many, dude. And people doing stupid shit too, But, you know, I tell you what, I have more fun now riding with Amanda because she rides a Harley too. So like looking over at her and seeing her ride next to me, dude, it's just like a huge turn on for me. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, this chick knows bikes, bro.
Yeah.
And that's one of the good things about having somebody who you kind of mesh with. I think I've never been married, but I think part of being married and being successful in that marriage is having a lot of the same interests. You got to be interested in each other and
Yeah.
excited to see stuff. Like, we're on this journey with peptides. Now let's talk peptides. Okay, now this is one of the main reasons why I really wanted Robert to come on to the show. Because dude, this guy has literally fucking changed our lives, and I don't take that lightly. Like he's not only changed our mentality and our eating habits, but he kind of really helped us evolve in a way that's pretty fucking amazing. I weighed almost 270 pounds, yo, and we started doing peptides and getting and educated on retatrutide, which we had learned through Robert. And if it hadn't been for him, like we wouldn't even fucking be on this journey right now. Like we were sitting talking about, losing weight, but like we had no idea how the fuck we were going to get to there. And so Robert's kind of taken us on this journey of health and eating better. As a matter of fact, he came over today. Part of him coming over was, we kind of did a workout routine and helped us kind of find ways to be able to exercise and do things together as a couple, which is new to me. I've never had that kind of bond with a woman that I can kind of actually work out with. So I guess my question to you is initially, because I'm curious on how you started. Um, what got you into that? Like, what originally got you interested in peptides? Because I didn't know jack shit up until like 6 months ago what a fucking peptide was.
Again, it's not cliche, but I've always been into fitness and bodybuilding. My first clothing brand was Bodybuilding Forward, and I had pro athletes I used to sponsor and train with, and we would be in Vegas and Olympia and all that other jazz. I had a coach and training for competitions. And as time went on, I kind of got comfortable with life and just things happen. I'm getting older. I'm 42, and I was losing energy, and totally cool. I didn't have no problems because I felt like, all right, I work hard and come home and kind of veg out. But when we had Atlas, man, he is just a ball of energy. He's 3 and just wants to come home and play, wants to ride his bike and wants to walk. And I don't do like I'm fortunate now I don't do manual labor. I got a
You and me both, bro. You and me both.
I'm chilling. Like there's no reason. Yeah, I get up early. My days are long by choice, but there's no reason for me to come home and be tired to where my son wants to ride his bike and I just want to sit down. I wanted to have a drink or I wanted to do just nothing. And I felt bad, but I just couldn't stay awake, you know? And was doing research and heard about peptides for a long time and just kind of same thing like you. Just don't really want to do this. I'm going to do it how I used to, old school and just, you know. But I think when you get to a certain point and you just your need for something or a need for change overpowers like your ability to stay the same, if that makes sense. And I just said, fuck it, what's the worst? I don't nothing changes. That's the worst thing.
Dude,
So
totally.
I got on Reddit and man, that experience of like it wasn't even about the fat loss. It was literally how can I stay awake to play with my kids? And how can I stay awake to go watch a movie, do something? If I'm off of work at 3, I want to go do things.
Yeah.
And it was strictly selfish motivation. That was the only reason. There wasn't for nobody. It wasn't to help people. And yeah, so my wife, we commit to a lot of things together, and we, she holds me accountable. So we started together, and that was the thing. And it was like day one, I'm at work, she's at work, and she calls me and she's like, "Hey," and I said, "Yeah, you feel good, huh?" And she's like, "Yeah, I feel fucking great." I said, "Yeah, this is something." And didn't do anything other with it, and just kind of for myself, and just kind of people started seeing the changes, and I can hone in on health and fitness all day, like that's just like kind of my thing.
Yeah.
But this just made all my hard work just that much better. And the fact that my wife was on it with me and we were kind of just newfound energy of just a new life. And it rolled
Yeah.
into other people just asking me. And then I did some work for some other doctors. I do a lot of stuff with like nonprofits and things like that for veterans and disabled vets or combat vets that were injured. And then different doctors, $1 million offices that were treating these disabled vets with various peptides. And that's kind of, they're like,
Yeah.
hey, this is all I use, and just one thing led to another and kind of started investing in myself. And it was, again, strictly for me and just kind of people asking. So any need I have, I try to find a way to monetize it to offset my cost of my need, not to make $1 million empire off of something because I've made a lot of money in certain things. I've lost a lot of money, but it was strictly the selfish motivation of wanting to be good for my kids. And I have a passion for helping people. I do it now for work, for military, and it just kind of rolled into it. And the passion has to stay there. That's why I don't advertise. That's why I don't sell anybody anything. I
Mm.
didn't sell you guys anything. You
Nope.
guys asked
You
for
didn't.
why didn't my vest fit? That's
We
just how
we
it started,
yeah,
you know?
we totally approached you. Um and bro, I can totally relate because over the years, and I think it's part of the mentality that I've always had. I always want to improve myself. I'm always trying to be better, like financially, um, morally. You just want to be a better person. Like all these things, you always want to be better. And you know, I think with Amanda and I getting married, that gave us the motivation and drive to be like, fuck, dude, like I need to do something because
Yeah.
you
See,
know I'm
so,
gonna be around for a while, and you know if I keep going this way, I'm gonna be fucking 300 plus pounds
but
soon. I
see,
couldn't do that shit.
you asked me, maybe that's one of the keys to like a happy marriage is the 270 pounds that you were and like where you were at, that was the best version of you by yourself. I didn't do the
Hmm.
I didn't do the peptides for you. Like I didn't you didn't even want them.
I
But
didn't. Because I
who
didn't trust
introduced
him.
them? Who introduced them to you?
Well,
It wasn't me.
yeah, well, my woman kind of
And now
brought me into the game.
so
Well, you know,
why
let me.
no, but why are you better for it now? Not because of me,
Well, yeah, I will say
because of her.
because Amanda, I will say good job, Amanda. But I will say I started hearing about it from RFK. RFK Jr. would start talking about it. I'm like, and dude, that fucker's ripped, dude, and he's fucking what, pushing 70, and
He's
he's
the
got
boss.
hey, he
Yeah.
takes his shirt off, he's got fucking pecs and
I
shit,
mean,
he's doing push-ups and shit. I'm like, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about.
yeah, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast like years
Yep,
ago.
yep.
And, they were talking about that, talking about peptides years ago. But like I said, that's just one of those things. Amanda pushed you to do it. I was
She
just like the
did.
facilitator of something that you wanted. Just kind of, the same way the best version of me was a nice car. And yeah, I
Yeah,
had a bike.
yeah.
That was it. Now the best version of me, so much more than any material thing.
I'll have to say the same. And you know, I give my woman a lot of props, and I compliment her all the time because I do know without a doubt that just her coming into my life and her and I going through these things has and I'd say improved the quality of my life, yes, but you know, she's giving me a different outlook. She gives me motivation to be better. You know, she's like helped improve my life.
There's a
You
lot of
know,
things you don't even notice subconsciously, and it takes a while for us, maybe as men, to see it, and not every one of us men will acknowledge it, right? And yeah, I went and bought a house. That's what it was, a house.
yeah,
Just like you built this place,
uh,
and they made it a home. They made it a place that like felt like it had something. Like you can build a house all day.
yeah,
It it still would be empty without them in my eyes, and that's just kind of how I
totally.
feel. And that's like the what they bring to the table is I couldn't do it. You know,
Yeah, dude, I thought like for a single guy in my house, I thought
you're doing it.
oh, dude, I thought my place was just like pimped out, dialed in. You know, for a guy, you know, like I had good taste and stuff.
But you
And
didn't have the towels in the bathroom that matched the.
no, I didn't.
the
No, I didn't, bro.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
Those are
she's
the things we can't see
yeah, the
without.
little things, you know. She's really dialed that in.
But that's just, I'd go shopping all day.
Yeah.
Got great napkins, but that's the extent of it. Like I don't ever want to lose that aspect
Yeah.
of how I move forward and do certain things. So I got to find ways to always just keep it that way because I only can do so much, and it's cool,
Yeah.
but it's not great. It's not a bigger than me until I brought somebody else in the picture.
Yeah. It's definitely like that. Like I said, us getting married kind of motivated us to just kind of change our lifestyle. So and then meeting you at the time we did was pretty interesting. Um and then we started our journey on Red True Tide in April. And now we're into July, and I haven't told anybody this yet, but I'm down 26 plus pounds, pushing 30 pounds. I'm really pushing to that, and Amanda's down 31 pounds. So it's not just about taken the Retta because the Retta's been a huge fucking game
But
changer for us,
not
bro.
so more importantly, because people are going to hear this and they're going to say, "Oh, that's the easy way out." It's just like
Yep.
with everything, people will find a justification to stay wherever the fuck they are and stay average. Like the world is bred now and taught everybody's okay to be average and not too much of anything. But you can give the same peptide to a bunch of other people, and half of them are going to stay the same because they don't make the changes that it takes
Yeah.
to see the work. So not only did you lose the pounds, the biggest thing is how many inches did you lose? Because I know you got
Yeah.
resized and Amanda got refitted.
Yeah.
The inches and that's the quality of life right there. That's not because you can lose all the pounds and guess what? Your pants might not fit still.
Yeah.
But going to the store and trying something on that you hadn't fit in before, that is what changes your mindset and keeps it going. The pounds that
Yeah.
we could lose pounds all day.
Well, I guess if you're comparing, those gym rats who go to the gym every day and they're working out and they're losing weight and it takes months and months and months to do this, and then they're seeing progress as opposed to a guy like me who doesn't go to the gym but I'm taking Retta, but I'm following the steps. I'm watching what I eat. I'm staying active. I'm in my calories deficit. Am I cheating? I don't know. Maybe.
No,
I don't know. To me,
no,
it's
no, you're not.
to me it's whatever works for the individual.
When it comes
right?
to your health and wellness, there's no if you have a cheat code,
Yeah.
why would you not use it?
Yeah.
It's for the betterment of you. Who are you competing with? Nobody but yourself.
Exactly, dude.
So fuck everybody. You can give the same cheat code to everybody. Make it fair play. They all
Yeah.
have access to steroids
That's true.
if you want. Not everybody gets big. I was a gym rat, and I am. That was my first company. It was called Gym Rat Apparel.
Oh no shit! I didn't know. I didn't. It was literally called Gym Rat.
Yeah, I
I
was
didn't know.
that guy. That's what everybody called me. And the funny thing is, I was in the gym because I was just fucked up. The gym was my therapy. And people would call me that because I was there every day. When I was homeless too, I was there every day. And people thought I was just dedicated, but I had fucking nothing better to do. I had to look for jobs and work out. But guess what? I would see a lot of people there too every day that
Yeah.
weren't showing progress.
Yeah.
So you can train, you can do all that, but if you don't have every piece of it, then it's not going to work. You could get on Reddit and drink all weekend. You can still eat pizza. You can still do everything. Guess what? You're not going to get the results you have.
And I will attest to that because Amanda and I, we've had some hiccups, like pizza. You mentioned pizza. That's like literally our favorite food. But the thing is, with being on Reddit and being friends with you, our relationship with food has changed. We actually think about what we're going to consume.
Not because of me.
Well, no,
I
true.
tell you. I
True.
tell you to eat it.
True. You do. I will say that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people could say we're cheating all day long, but I don't give a fuck. It's what's working for us. But we are putting in the work. We're doing we're doing what we need to do to lose the weight because the wedding has made us motivated to not be fatties when we get married. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not just eating mindlessly, right? We're proteins matter now. We look at food differently. We used to drink fucking. We'd go out on the weekends and dude, Amanda and I could pound probably 7 fucking espresso martinis in a night, no problem. But we'd wake up the next morning feeling like shite, bro. So it's like, but if you do that regularly, dude, you know how many calories is in an espresso martini, bro?
Yeah.
A lot. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're really watching what we're doing. But when you're on Reddit, you don't really want to eat. You kind of have to force yourself to eat because, like, even today, I was so busy, I didn't really eat all that much. I had some fruit and some meat here and there, but like I was just busy doing things. But we hydrate a lot, so I know that was a big thing with Reddit. You have to hydrate a lot. So
Yeah, you just got to be mindful of like what you're doing, but it makes you look at the back of the ingredients and check it. Like when you start doing that, it opens up your eyes. Because I started doing it for my kids too. I'm like thinking
Yeah.
I'm buying my kid a healthy drink, and it has more sugar than a soda, and it just makes you mindful of everything else. But then also your body rejects the shit that's not good for you. So it's kind of a cool thing that you get to gain knowledge in that aspect of it.
Too. Well, you know, we also enjoy the fact, you know, obviously we've become friends and we're you know, get to know each other more by the day. But you know, Robert actually keeps us accountable. You know, like he'll call us periodically throughout the week. He'll check in on us, wants to know what we're eating, and you know, a couple of years back that probably wouldn't have worked on me. But now, like Amanda and I have a singular vision and we're focused on the same fucking thing. And so when you got a guy who's as busy as Robert, who takes the time throughout his day to fucking give us a call. Like, you know, he's got a bunch of other shit he could be doing, and he takes the time to give us a call. That goes a long way. And so I know I really appreciate that. I know Amanda does too, man. So even you coming down tonight meant a lot to us. We appreciate it very much, dude.
Yeah, no, and it's literally the first time I've done something like this, and because of how you move and how you are with Amanda, I think that's why I took the opportunity to come down here and
How I move.
just how you move, like how you carry yourself,
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. I
slang,
appreciate it.
street slang, I know, but
Gotcha.
uh, yeah. So all those things that I observe, even if I don't like tell people, that plays a part in how I interact with somebody. So I can't just again ties back into what I value, and I couldn't just come out here and bullshit you on your
Yeah.
podcast, even if it was the biggest podcast in the world, and if I didn't fuck with you like that or care too much about what you were doing, I wouldn't be here.
Well, I think part of that is when you meet somebody, and I don't want to use the word, I don't want to use this sentence of judging people. You don't judge people, but you kind of do. Like when you meet somebody, you're sizing them up, right? And so I think first impressions matter. And then, you know, when you decide to move forward with somebody as a friend, long term or however long it may be, you look for certain things in people to decide, hey, look, is this person showing enough qualities in them? Is this the type of person I want to hang out with? Is this the type of person I want to be with? And that's the thing about the MC world, bro. And there's good people in the MC world, but then there's a lot of shit bags in the fucking MC world too. And like, I would look at some people. I'm like, dude, do I really want to be associated with these fucking dudes?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying everybody's the same. And there's good people in the MC world, but you know, when you're surrounding yourself with, you know, people that are fucking, um, not so cool, then it makes you wonder. So that's why I say when you meet somebody, you judge them, and character matters, integrity matters, moral compass
yeah, and
matters.
that's they tell you what you can tell a lot about somebody else by who they associate with and who they run with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's probably one of the reasons my circle is so small, just because of the things I do and how I move. Sometimes it seems a little far fetched, and people judge me all the time. And it's so much easier to not invest in changing their mind. So whatever people think of me or the assumptions, way easier for me to let them think it. I don't
Yeah.
really have the energy to correct and prove anybody wrong. So by that alone, I think it just kind of limits who I interact with.
Oh, that's for sure, man. I'm with you on that, and I think that's why I can appreciate, you know, our friendship. You're a very wise man, dude. And we're both a work in progress. You know, I think you know we're constantly trying to evolve and be better. So I think that you know, you and I are on the same page on that level, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's always room,
Yep.
always room to work on something. So
to me, being a better man doesn't mean you're pretending you've figured everything out, right? It's age changes what matters. When you get older, your direction in life changes. Things that seemed incredibly important when you were younger don't necessarily sit the same anymore. So, and it seems like you and I are kind of on that same path. Even with successes, it's like every little step I make with Amanda to and better our life. It seems like it's always a better thing. And I guess, I mean, what is to you? What does being a better man mean to you? Like, what does that entail?
Uh, Man, being a better man is like, first off, you got to be a better man for yourself before you can be one for anybody else in your life.
Yeah,
So I think you got to be comfortable looking in the mirror and open with acknowledging like where you're fucked up. Because if you don't ever shed light on anything that you got in the dark, it's just, it'll stay there and it's just a facade for everybody else. So you got to take a hard look in the mirror and realize, like, hey, where I've been fucking up. Because if not, somebody else will call you out on it, and you just
yeah,
then you get aggressive or you get angry that they're calling you out on your shit. But if you're open with yourself about everything, nothing can offend you like that,
yeah.
and there's only room for improvement. And it's always up front.
That's the thing I've noticed. Some people don't have the ability to look within and just be like, "I'm fucking up. I need to change." Some people just don't have that ability to be humble and fix themselves. So I think that quality is very important. And at some point, I think everyone learns it. Some others later in life, but yeah, that's important, bro.
Some people only learn it after they lose everything that was worth changing for,
Yeah,
But one of the things I can tell you, and I don't have it all figured out. So let's tie it back into what makes a perfect marriage. Who fucking knows? But what makes a marriage worth staying in? Now that I can tell you that my biggest thing, and I say it all the time, is you can't pour from an empty cup.
no, totally.
So fuck the job, fuck everything else, because at the end of the day, whoever you come home to in this home that's not a house anymore, if they're not refilling your cup and you're not refilling theirs, whatever stressor it is, whatever drama it is, like I could go empty my entire self out at work. When I
Hmm.
come home, my wife is the one who refills it so I can do the shit again. My kids refill it. So when my wife is going through it, I make sure that I'm pouring into her so that she can do it again. Or, whatever the case is. And that pouring into the cup is as big or as small as you want it to be. But I think that's one thing I've learned is that I can't go pour myself into the job and then come home and stay empty.
Yeah,
So my wife is kind of what does that, and that's kind of what keeps it going. I can pull these long hours. This last weekend I'm 42. I pulled 23 hours straight on one day, and then maybe 8 hours of sleep the whole weekend.
damn,
But my wife had things. She's a hustler. She had things going on. I had things out of state. I flew out of state, came back same night, went to work with her, and did things. So if I was coming home and staying empty, I wouldn't be able to sustain
yeah,
everything I got going on. So for you, you're always on the job, you're out of town, you're doing this and that. If you didn't come home and get replenished, it'd be hard to go back out and kind of stay at that same level. You know what
oh
I
for
mean?
sure.
So that's where that found gratitude comes in, of somebody who's your partner and your equal in whatever you got going on. So
You know what's cool about that? As you know, I was just gone for the last 3 days traveling for work, and I just could not wait to fucking get home and see my girls and be with them. And I think that's again, it goes back to the timing thing. And I told Amanda this a few times already, but there was something inside me that genuinely believes that we were supposed to meet you on that time. That the timing was just too fucking perfect, dude. And that's why this show is about timing. It's about peptides. It's about um. It's just amazing how shit works sometimes, and you just have to go with it. You
So,
can't fight it.
so like your purpose basically is the direction, and timing is just your preparation, right? So, like purpose is where you're going with it.
Yeah,
The timing is really your preparation because if you start to prep for something that you want and you wait till the day you're ready for it, you just kind of lose it. So the timing thing, the preparation, peptides were already in the talks. You guys already wanted to be healthy. That
true.
was the preparation. And the timing was us bumping into each other. Now, if we would have
Yep.
bumped into each other and you weren't about to get married or you hadn't prepped for what's coming up, it might not have worked.
Oh, you know what?
Right.
You do have a valid point, dude. Who knows? Would we be sitting here right now? I
Yeah,
don't
we're
know.
like, fuck off.
I don't
This guy just took a picture. Cool.
know.
But
Probably.
we're gonna go have a beer,
Yeah,
which you guys
probably.
did go and drink
Yeah,
afterwards. But
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's where you can always say that the purpose is the direction you're headed. And then the timing is really the preparation for what's to come.
yeah. I absolutely agree, man. And I know we got to start wrapping this up. I know you have a long drive ahead of you, so I just have to throw something at you. Kind of be kind of fun here. So I want to throw a few things. So, what would be your dream photography shoot? Like all the stars align, your perfect lineup for your dream shoot, bro.
Man, I don't know. I've never, I mean, I've always said like I've been putting it out there more like cool destination type shoots, but I've done that. People have flown me out. I used to go to Hawaii, so I think all the dream shoots, I think I've hit those, honestly.
Nice,
I've I was in Hawaii in an apartment drinking whiskey and taking pictures, and all they wanted me to do was go drink with them at the beach and not take the pictures. But I always am humbled when I get to go somewhere and my lens is what took me there
nice,
because there was a time where I bought it literally out of need and I would try to do everything under the sun just to get a dollar. And now I'm blessed that I don't need to do that.
that's
So I
awesome.
think yeah, I don't look at it that way. Like I've done it and I think I'm just grateful to continue to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, what's something that people would never guess about Robert Wolf?
Huh. Well, I mean, unless I told you about it, no one would ever guess because of when they see like, oh, this guy bought a house or the car, or whatever. Anything else? I guess the intimate few. Uh, well, one, I was homeless, but I think one that you'd look at me right now off the bat is that I write. I used to write pretty heavily.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
Like songs or poetry or just
poetry and like
no
I've always had
shit.
this thing wanted to do a spoken word night, but I just
Wow.
never. My wife's told me let's go do it, let's go do it, and I just not got around to it.
That's interesting.
The furthest I've gotten, or the closest, is on your podcast right now.
Oh shit.
Talking to somebody on a mic.
Well, don't I feel special?
We'll
That's pretty
see.
cool,
Maybe in the
man.
future, like my wife's been pushing me. I've sent you some. I've sent
What?
you a couple pieces that I wrote. I think, even like the snippets of quotes
Oh yeah,
when we
you
were
you did
talking.
send me some quotes.
Those were
Yes.
snippets of like long poetry things that I've
Nice.
written, and yeah, I've published some here and there, but
Nice. I didn't know that about you, dude.
yeah.
That is interesting. A really quick side story. In 2017, I started writing some memoirs of my life because I was like, how cool would it be, like, if I passed away, that I could pass on like my legacy and my history with my family, right? I don't have kids, but I was like, you know what? I felt like this desire to write. So I started writing about my life, just weird shit. And like one page turned into 50, 50 turned into 100. So like I have these memoirs that I started writing, and they're so sporadic, bro. They're like different stories of different times in my life. And then I try to start doing timelines, and I started putting them together. So I do have these writings that I did for this memoir, and I stopped writing about it a couple of years ago, but I need to get back into it because I have all this stuff on my drive, and I'm like, how cool would it be to just kind of be able to finish that and have something for my family when I'm gone. Like, oh, dude, I didn't know about that. I didn't know that shit about fucking JT when he was fucking 20 years old, So that's kind of cool, man. I have a I could definitely relate to that for you. So I don't know. If I keep continuing with that, I'll
Yeah,
let you know about it.
I gotta drive home.
Yeah, I know, dude. No
But yeah,
shit.
I think it's cool. I've got that same buzz every once in a while. I'm like, I want to publish more. I want to do this, but we'll we'll see. I gotta make time.
Yeah. Well, I got one more question for you, and then we'll wrap this up. So, if somebody's watching tonight who isn't happy with where they're at right now in their life, whether that's their health, their career, their relationship, or just not happy with the person that they've become, what's the first thing that you would tell them?
Change. Like,
Yeah, it's easy to say it, but like some people just don't have like the know-how or the capability to change. You got to think in simplistic terms here.
yeah, that's the most simplest way to say it, right? You're not really a tree. You're not rooted down to anything. We can say we've laid roots down. We bought a house. We did this and we did that, but you start where you're at with what you have and go from there. And like a small step in a different direction will lead to 2 steps and 3 steps. And then next
True.
thing you know, you look back and you're a lot further than where you started. But those first steps is what holds people back. You're afraid. You're afraid to make the first step,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you didn't change. It's a simple 1 step to send a text out to somebody, right? To Google one thing. You want to start with like a whole program or a whole this and a whole that.
Yeah.
You start with what you have, where you are. And I guess I'll end you with this quote that says, if you stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough.
That's pretty cool. I like that, dude.
So
That is cool.
the first step is always the hardest one. Super cliche, but that willingness to just step out
Yeah.
into a different direction is just, it becomes gratifying.
Yeah.
And I commend you because that was the first thing. Amanda thought originally this whole thing how it started, she for real said she was probably going to start it by herself. And her voice changed when you guys called me. I think you guys were together.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she wanted to start and you were going to start with her. So that was the first step for her. And her first step led to yours. And now look back.
It's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy how shit
you guys
works
did
out
that.
there.
I was just like a facilitator of
True.
what you were already doing. So it's cool to see that. And
Yeah.
that's the only thing you can do, man. It's just 1 step.
Very true, man. Well, and with that being said, to bring this full circle, right? I think about this. I went into Espinosa's with my woman looking for a vest. We met a photographer. We started a health journey. We found accountability. And somewhere along the way, we found a friend. And that's extremely important to me. Here we are doing a podcast together, doing an episode together, dude. So I really appreciate what you've done for Amanda and I. You've really opened up our eyes to a lot of things. The accountability has been great. I really take it serious. I appreciate the friendship. And we're looking forward to October 10th to sharing that moment with you. because you essentially are sharing that with us. You're going to capture moments for us that, are going to, live forever with us, dude.
Yeah,
So
you're not sharing that moment with anybody. I'm gonna be in the shadows. That's your guys's moment for sure, and everybody else who's just there is in the audience gets to witness it. So I'm humbled to be there and uh, make sure that you look at what I capture and it reignites that feeling every time you guys look
yeah,
at the photos.
thanks, man. It's going to be great. Brother, you've made a genuinely positive impact on Amanda and I's life in such a short period of time. I appreciate all you've done for us. And most importantly, I appreciate the friendship. Before we go, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody? You've got the floor, brother.
Shout out to my wife, Carol. She's at home right now. Actually, she's an entrepreneur and she's pulling long nights. So yeah, shout out to her and my kids for letting me come out and do this and not making me feel guilty for going out and doing things that eventually ties back into them and aids in the success of our family as a whole. So other than that, I appreciate you and Amanda for trusting me because it it takes a lot to trust somebody that you know,
Yes.
and even a lot more to trust somebody that you just met.
Yeah.
So I never take it lightly when that I'm blessed with that. So yeah, shout out to you guys and my family for letting me continue to do this for people and be impactful.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it too. I also want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching another episode of In the Mind of JT. I know I don't always talk about things that you may not agree with, but at the end of the day, I enjoy what I do. This is my show, and you don't have to listen. But for those who do, who tune in and watch every episode and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm now on Apple iTunes. It only took me 30 fucking episodes to do it, but hey, we're here now. Spotify's not quite there yet, but I'll get there, dude. And also, if you're somebody out there who has a strong opinion on things and you might disagree with me, or you do agree with me, you want to come on the show, reach out to me, email me, text me. I'd love to have you on the show and get your thoughts on stuff. At the end of the day, we're all adults here, man. We can have a civil conversation and still be friends. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. With that being said, this is JT signing off. Ride safe, live free, and don't take shit from anybody. Peace.